What's going on, guys? It's ShZa, and god damn, guys, yo, there's so much leaks and stuff that's happening with Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. So much craziness. I know they even had to shut down the speculation channel for like Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl. It is actually crazy. I haven't got to cover this stuff a lot, but right now I got some crazy information to tell you. The leak that I'm actually going to be talking about today, the TOF leak, which kind of almost prompted this whole shutdown of the speculation server. So we got a leak of the whole stage select screen and the character select screen. And yeah, at first, I'm gonna be honest, I kind of thought, like, as first when I saw it, I'm like, yeah, no, this is clearly fake. Like, let me bring a picture of this. When I first saw this, I'm like, okay, this is like another artsy Omni thing. This is another type of thing that happens where someone's just really good at drawing this out, able to make it look like a 3D render. But, well, I'm gonna get into it later, but some new information that has came out like in the past hour is almost like 100% confirmed it. And then Aang and Korra, of course, look legit. The only thing is that Toph didn't look too legit. That's one thing that basically turned me off from this leak. I'm like, why is she so far back from the portrait? Doesn't make any sense. But I guess one of the reasons you may be able to say is that it's an early render and they haven't like finished how her character portrait is yet, because this is an early leak of the game. But so far, even if it's fake, I think the guys that did this did a very good job. We got the stage list right here, which we got full zoom outs of every stage, which that also was like, that was interesting because we never got a full zoom out of Omashu. So that was another thing that was like, you know what, maybe this could be real, because we have not seen this stage fully zoomed out or without characters. Most of these stages we haven't seen them fully zoomed out without characters on them. So the fact that, like, I doubt, like, yeah, character portraits is one thing, but I doubt people would actually go through doing like that whole remodeling stages. That's kind of crazy. That trying to remodel stages and stuff. That's so. And yeah, and then we also got this picture. We got the full renders, and then they blacked out these two right here. And so this was another thing that also alarmed a lot of people. Were like, this has to be fake. Why would they black out the last two characters? And why in all these? Because before all this came out, we were of the knowledge that the game is probably going to release with 22 characters, especially since we saw, hold up, let me try to load this up here. What people originally thought when we saw this way back in August, we thought that there's going to be 22 characters, because of course if you counted the spaces, there's 22 slots for characters right there. But so that's why when people originally saw this TOF leak and it only had 20 characters, we were wondering like, okay, this doesn't make any sense here. And then when you look at this, you're like, why are they blacking out the last two characters? Like that doesn't make like any sort of sense. But after this new information, which I'm probably gonna go over most of the Q&A because it's actually a pretty good Q&A. But after what just released, like this is actually starting to look real. There was one person that was claiming that they made the TOF leak and that they rushed to airbrush it, and I don't know if I believe that. Like, one, like, I don't think this TOF model really looks rushed, nor it just looks misplaced. And there's really no proof. Like, they didn't like. If it was like Artsy Omni and they actually made a video about, like, you know, like how they showed the Photoshop files of how they made this, then I'd be like, okay, yeah, this is obvious. But it was just, I guess, a random person in the Discord saying, yeah, I made the leak, guys, it's fake. So I'm like, yeah, I don't know. Okay, so let me just get into this Q&A. So apparently they went with the CEO of Ludosity, the main developer of Nickelodeon All-Star Brawl, and the Game Informer, basically, they had an interview with him, and they asked him a whole bunch of questions. There's a lot of good points. You know, I'll let people read this. I'll probably link this in the description. there's a lot of good points here. And so, but one thing that is very important to notice is this right here. They said at launch there will be 20 characters with two more following soon after. They said it's going to launch with 20 characters, which means that it makes complete sense of why you only see 20 characters here, because that's what's going to be at launch, and then the other two are coming after, like, post-launch. Like, and then when you factor that, you start thinking, you're like, okay, so how the hell would this even be faked? How would they have predicted that the game would only have nobody thought that this game was gonna only have 20 characters. Everybody thought that it was gonna be 22 because that's what we saw here. We saw 22 slots. And I guess originally what was planned is that they were gonna do 22 characters. And also, okay, yeah. Well, I guess now you can see it. Okay. So yeah, this is the old Leonardo render, and that's the new one. You see it's in a slightly different angle and stuff. It looks slightly different. And I don't see a reason of why they would change Leonardo for no reason if they're trying to make this legit. Like, if someone was actually trying to make this leak legit and they had the ability to render this Aang and this Korra, they would have done 2 more characters. There is no reason why they would have only done 3 characters. Because everybody thought that the game was going to have 22 characters and 22 stages. But now that we know the game's going to launch with 20 characters and then have 22 later down the road, and I'm guessing it's probably going to be a free update, because the way he describes it in the interview, he said there'll be 20 characters with 2 more following soon after, and then additional DLC. So it seems like the game's roster is supposed to be 22, just it's not gonna launch with 22 characters. That the two extra characters are coming after, and then the additional DLC will come that you have to pay for. So I don't think you're gonna have to pay for the extra 2 characters. Hopefully, don't quote me on that. Who knows? They might just be like, hey, you're paying for these two extra characters. It's really seeming like this leak is real. I don't know what to say anymore. There's like, yes, before everybody was saying, oh, Toph does not look legit, but nobody said anything about the Aang and Korra renders, and these are brand new renders. You can't find them anywhere else. And this is a revision of Leonardo's old render that actually has not launched anywhere. You can't find it anywhere, because this is the render that you find every time. You find this one. This one, you could tell, is slightly altered. Like, his sword is lower. Like, the way he's positioning his swords is different. The way he's tilting his head is different. Especially since now, with this information, let's say this leak is not real. We already basically know who the last characters are, because we know there's 3 Avatar stages, and there's 3 characters left. And they're all Avatar characters, because we know Aang and Korra are 100% coming to the game. And we know Omashu is the last stage. At this point, at first I was thinking maybe not, but now I don't know. I'm like 80% sure this is real now. It definitely could be fake. Still, but either way, this is a very good guess. And also whoever did this did a very good job, because just look at the Aang and Korra renders. Like, these look 100% legit with the rest of them. Same with Toph, we just can't see it properly because of how far in the back she is. I guess that's it. I guess I'll see you guys when this game drops. Well, I'll also be uploading, other videos, so you guys can catch that stuff. I'll probably do a couple breakdowns of this. I was planning on doing breakdowns way earlier, but a lot of issues happened with my audio for my laptop, so I'm gonna try to get that sorted out, and then we could finally do some breakdowns. I might do some breakdowns closer to the release, because at this point, since I missed the initial first off, I'm gonna just do every single breakdown. Once they release all the breakdowns, I'm gonna do every single one of them right before release, and then we'll play the game and all that stuff. I'll probably do a live stream of that, but anyways, I guess see you guys.